Hello everyone, it's the Instant Match Reaction. Southampton 1 at Liverpool 0. I'm Paul Machin. Chris Pajak is in the studio with me.
Shit, that one.
Yeah. I was having this sort of debate, and because it's largely a one-way conversation, with the exception of the chat on the fan reaction show, I was having this like one-way dialogue with me sort of self about whether is it just a game where it's best just going, that was crap. Things probably aren't all totally fucked, but that was crap, and this is this and this and this, rather than trying to dig out various positives and all that kind of stuff from it. The only thing I've been able to fathom, because that's now 2 draws and a defeat in three games, was that week off, like the equivalent of our winter break that normally, that warm weather training camp that normally fucks us. I can't work out how.
I really hope it's not, because we've got another week off coming up, and at Man United straight after it.
I can't work out how you beat Tottenham Hotspur and then you batter Crystal Palace, and then having come through the ringer, you finally have a little bit of a gap. So you get a little bit of downtime. You got Christmas Day in there, so at least they'll have some family time, which is cool, and there'll have been some actual training time in amongst that. So it's not just game recovery; it's actually training time as well. And during that period, we also got 3 first-team players, in Thiago, Shaq, Milner, actually 4, Oxlade-Chamberlain, back into the fold as well. Why are we not better?
I don't know, Paul. The honest answer is, I don't know, but Liverpool was shit today.
Yeah.
I said this at the end of the player ratings. I hate Liverpool losing anyway, but Liverpool losing when they've played terribly, I can't recover from that until I've done a final word, and then I can move on. I can leave it all behind and drop that baggage and move on and look forwards to the next game, because to a man, bar Robbo and Mane, I think they were all under par tonight. And I'm fed up of talking about the extenuating circumstances. They're extenuating.
It feels like you're excuse making when you've had 3 poor performances.
Yeah, it does. But there's extenuating circumstances for every team in the league, and yet we're the ones who are in bad form at the moment. Liverpool, those 2 draws weren't good enough, and tonight's performance wasn't good enough. And I give Southampton credit. I thought they played really well against us. Yeah. They didn't work the goalkeeper loads and loads. They only had 3 shots on target themselves. And I think the goal is of our doing, although brilliant from Danny Ings. Henderson's a yard deep, plays everyone on side. Trent Alexander-Arnold, I've no idea what he's doing there. And it was a really poor performance from Trent, probably one of his worst in a Liverpool shirt, actually. Because it wasn't like he was going up against a top winger here, where he's been beaten in one-on-ones and you can understand it, and he's lost 7 of 10 or whatever. It was just a poor game all round with the ball at his feet, and I think there was no level of control from the side. We missed Jordan Henderson in midfield. Obviously, you're going to miss a world-class midfielder who's the captain of your side and has been the beating heartbeat of your side for so long. But that's not to say that we didn't have the players on the pitch to go and do something tonight just because Jordan Henderson wasn't in midfield. We did, and I don't think Ox played particularly well. And here's a question that I posed to myself in the player ratings.
In your one-way dialogue with yourself.
In my one-way dialogue with myself. Actually, we were all crying out for the Ox sub, but did we make that sub at the wrong time? Because that first 10 minutes was the best that we played in the second half, and then we changed it for Ox, and all of a sudden, whatever little bit of rhythm we had kind of dissipated.
Yeah, we fucked that. We fucked it. The substitutions fucked it. We made the wrong calls, and the problem is that there's a logic at play that we're not privy to here, and we can't figure out, because for us, you put the team out that's best capable of winning the game in front of you, whereas what Jurgen Klopp is doing is use the old Rodgers analogy, like building the plane in the air, but he's actually, we always talk about spinning plates. He's trying to get he's trying to introduce a bunch of new plates to the mix here, and I think that's where we're falling down. And I think, and I said this actually, the selection has been hampered by the Aston Villa game, and that sounds stupid, but there's a bunch of lads who I think you would normally be, the substitutions that you would make normally, that I think we're not making, because I think like Minamino is going to play 90 minutes on Friday, and I think that's why he doesn't come into this game, because it's Bobby Firmino's night off, and so he doesn't want to put Minamino on, because if that hampers him from playing 90 minutes, it means Bobby Firmino's got to come in.
I hope that's not the case, because we were out to get 3 points tonight.
No,
exactly. Or at least that point at that point.
And maybe it's not quite as cut and dry as all that, but that's always been. It's always the way they manage. They they always talk about playing one game ahead, and I think mentality-wise, I think the players who play that way. But I do think that this is I think Jurgen Klopp's plan is to rotate heavily for Aston Villa. I mean, like, if he can make 10 changes, he'll make 10. I don't think we can, but I think he will make as many changes as humanly possible. I don't think it will be a team of kids a la the Carabao Cup game last season, but because of that, I do think we've backed ourselves into a corner because he's decided. Now, I might be completely wrong. They might decide it's actually enough time for Man United, and he goes very strong. I would be surprised, but that might be his thing, because there's so many lads that need to get up to fitness. That's
the thing. It's almost like to go back a point about the spinning plates thing. It's like when you've got. I was going to say this then. You're essentially trying to make, when you say, I don't really want Liverpool to buy young players anymore because I don't want them learning on Liverpool's time. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, we've got to get people match fit, and the only time we're able to get them match fit is during actual games of footy. That's where I think Klopp's having a bit of a struggle, and I agree with you about the spinning plate stuff there, because clearly, like, look, we put a lot of hope into Shaqiri there. He didn't do anything. He's not match fit, Minamino's closer to match fitness, or at least he was a couple of weeks ago. He's in good form. I'm really shocked that he never came on. Yeah. Again, and I know loads of people will be talking about this online. Klopp can't ask for 5 subs all the time and not use them. Like, that was a game where we needed a third sub. And I don't know whether it was a game where we needed to take Salah, Mane or Firmino off, or whether you just... We're throwing the goalkeeper up for a corner at the end. Yeah. Why didn't we just remove a midfielder and play another forwards?
Well, I mean,
I know it's simplistic.
Yeah,
but,
I mean, I know what
you're saying. Going for a point.
No, I know what you're saying. At that point, the game's gone. The game's lost, and you've done what you've done. There's no one left on there that's making a significant change at that point, because you're weakening your team with what's left on there. Divock Origi, I mean, at this point, like, he's not even a fucking hand grenade that you're tossing onto the pitch. He's like he's not even a water balloon. He's just someone going, boom. That's what he is. You know what I mean? He's no longer a surprise element that you're throwing on, that's coming on and looking to prove himself and all that kind of stuff. And I've said it before. For me, we fucked it by. I understood the logic of playing Henderson centre half, because I think we wanted to give Southampton respect. And look, let's be honest, it's not like Southampton caused us tons of problems in the game. They had one moment where you pay the price. We talk about this defence. What you've lost with Virgil van Dijk, and what you've lost with Joe Gomez, and what you've lost with Joel Matip in losing your 3 best centre-halves, your 3 centre-halves, is we were so well drilled. Our defence was we won the title because our defence was the best last season. We didn't win it because we fucking blew everyone away. We won it because we were dead disciplined, and we were dead solid, and we had the ability to score late goals. But the defence won us the title last year. And Jordan Henderson playing, and I know it's everyone's back, so it's not quite as all this, but Jordan Henderson being the one who plays everyone on side is an alarm bell, because it's a disjointed. It's him maybe being in a different position in the wall that he would have been if he was in midfield. That kind of situation. It's everything. It's all a knock-on effect, and at the moment, what we've got, we're a team that is better than the sum of its parts, but the team all has to perform together. And what you've got at the moment is too many players who are not sharp enough to come in and hit the ground running. And then in addition to that, the midfield, which is the engine room of the side, you need to be so switched on and so tactically astute to be able to fit into that midfield. And Thiago Alcantara is amazing, but he's just come in. He's played three appearances for us. He played 45 minutes against a 10-man side in a 6 where the team played. We had nothing to do but play in Chelsea's half. He then played left of a 3 against Everton, and then he's come in and played a lone 6 alongside Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, who hasn't played all season, in front of a fucking makeshift back 4. We've now got 2 areas of the team in complete flux, and the front 3 aren't clicking. Yeah. Well, no wonder we're not fucking winning games of football.
All of the players that played will become part of the spine of this side when everybody's fit. They're just all in the wrong positions at the moment, and that's an issue, isn't it? Henderson's part of the spine of this side, but not a centre back. Fabinho, same. We are lacking a spine and that game was lacking leadership. And what's worrying is that there were quite a lot of leaders on the field.
We finished that game, Alisson Becker, goalkeeper, Andy Robertson, left back, Fabinho, DM, Jordan Henderson, centre mid, James Milner, centre mid, and that's our back five. Midfield three was Thiago Alcantara, centre mid, playing DM. I know he's played there before, but again, not so much as alone. Gini Wijnaldum converted winger into centre mid. Oxlade-Chamberlain start winger converted to a centre mid. Ends with Xherdan Shaqiri, winger playing in centre mid. And the front three, the fucking team was mad. You know what I mean? It was, and I hate it because I said this is a question mark over it. There's still 11 good players, and if those 11 good players click, and if they play better, they probably still can do more. Because again, Southampton didn't bury us there. We probably could have done a bit better. And again, maybe with a bit of luck, it might have gone a bit better. But you can't account for luck. You've got to make your own luck, and we didn't make our own luck.
We didn't get enough bodies in the box.
We fucked it for me. Where we fucked it was the decision to play Jordan Henderson centre half, and then when we double fucked it was not putting him into midfield at half time. And I know, and this why again it goes back to me: is it the Villa game or is it the overall just getting players back to fitness? And have we gambled 3 points on player fitness there? It feels a little bit like that to me because it was so fucking obvious that the Jordan Henderson was needed in midfield in that second half, which is the argument is slightly undone by the fact that I thought we were really good for the first 10-15 minutes of the second half.
But that's where the point about taking Ox off at that point was probably the wrong decision as well.
Exactly. You then chucking Shaqiri on, put Jordan Henderson in midfield, put Reece Williams on at centre half. I think if Klopp knew the result, I think he might have done that. But you live and die by the decisions in the moment, and he maybe just thought, well, another attacking lad, we know shit. We said it ourselves. You'd have had Shaqiri on.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's a bit of an X factor, you know. He
looked to me like a lad who, although he's played centre mid, isn't a centre mid, and that's the first time I've really watched him and thought that. Other times I thought, I can see what he's doing here. He never found himself in the right areas to affect the game.
He was just fine, wasn't he? He just came in and played. He played like, if you brought a 19-year-old kid on or an 18-year-old kid on, he played like Leighton Clarkson played when he played that game a couple of weeks ago. And you just come in and you're like, oh, good on you, lad. Good, you know, he come in, didn't look out of place, but he didn't set the world. Like, you are thinking, start him next week. He's a worldie. This one, it just didn't, and that was shit. It was fucking shit, and it's really disappointing because it feels like I don't know. I felt like the league was won after we beat Spurs, and that was probably a bit naive of us to be honest. And we've gotten sucked into the top of Christmas thing. It doesn't mean that you stay top from then on. You should be very close to the picture, which of course we are. And obviously we are still top at the moment as well, which is a thing until United obviously play the game in hand. We've not even played half of the season yet.
I know.
And we are sat here having catastrophic talks and conversations about it. I would rather be, this might be me doing some blue sky thinking, it sounds mad, I would rather us drop those points from those 3 consecutive games now than have done it 6 weeks ago or a month ago, because and I know that we needed those wins. You know, we got ourselves into a good position and all that with the month ago, but a month ago we had no way of sorting it out because we had no players. We literally had the only fit players playing on the pitch at that point. Whereas this sounds a bit stupid.
No, but I can understand. You're almost digging yourself into a hole that you can't get out of.
Whereas you're doing it now, knowing that, okay, well look, Ox isn't crap, and Trent isn't crap, and Thiago isn't crap. And all these lads, you know, and Shaq isn't crap, and all these lads, and Salah's clearly not crap, and Bobby's clearly not crap. But we've actually got players available to us now who will all have better days than this. It's just, unfortunately, it's mad that it's happened. To come to do all that hard work, to drag yourselves to the top of the league, given all the extenuating circumstances, to then fuck it when we finally got players available.
And some decent gaps in between games as well.
Mad. This is when we're supposed to be in our stride, and we've just stumbled. And that's, I think, where my disappointment comes from anyway, because this felt like we'd done all the hard work, and now it's just about just keeping a steady pace. And our first opportunity to pull away and really hit our stride with bodies and a bit of squad rotation, oh my God, and we fucked it. Now, it doesn't mean it stays fucked, because we have this spell in every season.
Everybody's going to have this spell this season, and we were fortunate enough that last season the league was done when we had a wobble, and I think there was reasons why. We've dropped 7 points out of 9. That's not good enough for Liverpool. That's not good enough for this side. No. Even with all the injuries, the performance was shocking tonight. There was a really good comment here from Scott Hawkes actually in our Discord. He says, we've been shit, we won't be shit the whole season. You can say that. Well, you can't say that about every other top team in the league. Also, we're doing this to stop the wheels coming off the squad later in the season. Hopefully that pays off. Also, if anyone was left in any doubt of the importance of Hendo, both Trent and Mo suffered because he's not advanced on the right, and that's a great comment, isn't it?
No, I completely agree with that, and that's the thing. Again, it would have been so easy in some regards. Let's make a case in defence for why we didn't do the Reece Williams, Jordan Henderson, whatever thing, because there's more value to Oxlade-Chamberlain playing 60 minutes, because he needs 60 minutes, because he's played 2 very, very small cameos. He actually just needs that. He'll be better for that. Shaqiri needs those minutes because we need him, because if Jota's not going to be back next week, Shaqiri's going to have to play in the front three at some point in the next in the
Is
in the,
Shaqiri
in the next
ahead
month.
of Minamino in the pecking order? Because I can't get over the fact that Minamino doesn't come on that game.
No, and I'm telling you, I think it's solely because Minamino's earmarked to play 90 against Villa. I think because they probably think that's more important to him. He's played a lot of bits and pieces, and for whatever reason, that they've just earmarked that as there's a big chance for Bobby to get it, or maybe 70 minutes and Bobby gets 20, and that's part of it. It seems crazy. I'm speculating.
I genuinely can't understand why Minamino didn't come on in that game.
No. For me, he's the only one. But he's another one where, again, let's just hypothesize. Yeah, well, let's hypothesize this. What you could have just done, and I spoke about this during the game, is that we should probably have just put Salah centre forward. We should have put Shaq on the right, Salah centre forward, and Firmino in behind, and just because that's what we've done a lot when Salah's having a bit of a tough time.
You throw him in there,
throw him in there and get a goal, and that was what we did a lot last season.
He was there anyway. Yeah, you almost want to just move Bobby out of the way.
But he was hanging around the back post, waiting for headers to just drop, which never quite did. They were so close to being right, but they were very good aerially. I think they dealt with a lot of our problems that we posed really well, and the second balls. Or we then tried to put a bit more on it, and then it was going a bit too hard. The fine margins, but the problem is there was a bunch of fine margins that added up today, and when you're not in great form and you're not scoring loads, and there's a lot of those other things, it all just stacks up. And again, it just feels odd, like we're not allowed for that to be a thing because we've gotten through that horrendous injury crisis. And again, everyone's dealing with their own shit, but everyone else can deal with their own shit. Their problems are unique to them. Liverpool doesn't make Liverpool's problems. It works both ways. Liverpool's problems are no less problematic for Liverpool because other teams have got problems. Our problems are our problems.
Plus, we should have had 2 pens.
And without mentioning the fact that, when Man, we'll do this. We'll do more on that tomorrow, I think, for the final word. But Mane, we said it doesn't have no favours, and then you watch it back to pen. Why is that not looked at? Because when we went to replay, it's like, oh my God, it's just a pen. It's just a clear pen. The referee was fucking shite. And again, it doesn't help. You could just do with 1 or 2 extra decisions go your way that probably should have gone your way. A couple of just extra little bit, like not conceding in the first 2 minutes of the football match changes the complexion. It's shite. But again, it's a long-winded way of saying it was just shite tonight. Just quickly, a couple of super chats that I've now completely just gone past.
While you're finding them, I'll go with this one. AD, if you can't support us when we lose or draw, don't support us when we win.
I can't.
Great Bill Shankly.
No, I mean, I'm not. I think that's one of those semi-Shankly quotes, to be honest. But I hate that has to get rolled out because, again, I don't. People can be annoyed. They can. I mean, but the thing is, you can be annoyed, but don't take it out on people who aren't as angry as you, because we'll all be celebrating a title win at the end of the season if it happens. Just the same, you know what I mean? So
double. Because hopefully we can get a double
parading both. Ross Gunn as a neutral, just seeing Klopp's interview after the game, making excuses about not getting decisions. Never seen a manager so bad at accepting defeat. Yeah, I mean that doesn't sound like a neutral. That sounds like someone who doesn't like Jurgen Klopp very much. To be perfectly honest, I've seen that. I love that. Speaking as a neutral, I can say that I think Manchester United are full of arseholes. Like, yeah, it's not really. AS £5 again, guys. You just see it as being United and do you see it as just being United and everything will be fine? I would like to beat Villa too, get that winning mentality back. Yeah, I mean, maybe it puts more pressure on the Villa game. It puts a lot more pressure on the Man United game. It's mad, but we've ended up in a situation where we beat Man United and everything feels fine again, and it's a very winnable game of footy.
It's just all it is, and especially this season, we've said it for a couple of weeks now. Everything you've learned about football and Premier League football, throw it out the window. This season's just different, you know. And we've seen that Arsenal were in turmoil, the 3 points behind Chelsea, who were going to win the league. You know, Tottenham Hotspur were going to win the league, and then they were 7th a week later. And you know, and Leicester at times, Aston Villa were going to win the league at some points this season. We're all just hoping that this season ends and hoping to get through it relatively unscathed. Now, we're also dealing with the fact that we've got the injuries, we're dealing with the fact that we're champions and we've got a target on our back and everybody wants to get a win. Look what it meant to Ralph Hasenhuttl tonight to get a win against us. I really hope that that's just because we're the biggest team in the land, because he doesn't cry when he beats Manchester United. No, he may not beat Manchester United, of course. I don't fucking know. Yeah. But certainly, like, your manager's crying because he beat us. That's how fucking big we are. That's how boss we are. Yeah. That's how much it means, and that's how much a football manager in the Premier League respects us as a side, that he's crying when he beats us.
Absolutely.
Wish he wasn't, like. Wish he was crying when we snotted them 7-0, but anyway.
And Michal Boris was saying Klopp started the mind games against Hollywood. That he's boss at that. I mean, he was saying Chelsea were the favourites for the title a few weeks ago, and look how well that went. Yeah, who knows? I don't see any need to lose our heads over this. I mean, it's if Liverpool end up in a situation where they don't win the league, then it'll kind of be what it'll be. But I still think inevitably, it's just everyone has this. I can't stress this enough. Everyone's at this. Like, Man City fans were all over the place in the first month of the season. All over the place. United fans all over the place for a spell. Chelsea fans now currently all over. Arsenal fans all over the place. And we are, again, we might not be top for long, but all we ever ask is that people are just in and around the conversation for as long as possible. It will feel like a fucking missed opportunity. If Liverpool miss out on this whole thing, it will be a result of the fucking craziness of the world, not because Liverpool aren't fucking boss. We'll see, whatever. It's just another game of footy, isn't it? There'll be another one along soon. And we'll either win or lose that one, and then we'll be having very similar chats after that one, won't we? Villa Friday. Stay tuned for that. If you want the final word, if you need a little bit more help, we'll talk through some of the more of the decisions in the game and moments, and maybe what Liverpool, some things that actually Liverpool did get right tonight. I know, shan't take long. Check the final word show out if you're a club legend or a club captain level member on YouTube, or if you subscribe to the RedmenTV.com. You get 2 of them, our game, one of them after every single game. Thank you for watching, thank you for listening, thank you for sharing, thank you for liking, and thank you for not being too downbeat and taking it out on people. If you are, keep smiling. There's lots worse things going on in the world than Liverpool at the moment, so yeah, focus on that instead. Ta-ra.